Hello friends, how are you all? So now onwards I will try to make all my videos in English only because I was receiving many of the messages that I should make videos in English or should add some subtitles because adding subtitles would be challenging because obviously it's if you will see viewership, so viewership is not that much high, but the point is it takes a lot of money. Okay, so adding subtitles and hiring a person, because I was doing all those things earlier and it was not beneficial. You know, our community is not that big and you should so that's why I was just thinking that I should record it in English only, and so that so everyone who is was asking like I should be making my videos in English so that they can also be able to understand. Okay, so that's the only agenda. If any person is having any problem, so just let me know so that I can work on that and can make feasible for everyone. Okay, so that's my agenda basically. So in this video we will talk about what is the difference in between internal audit or the statutory audit. Okay, so if you will see statutory audit and internal audit. Okay, so statutory audit, if I talk about the statutory audit, then it has been like it's in the name itself, statutory audit. Okay, so statutory audit is it's something which has been defined by the law. Okay, which has been defined by the law, that law has written like you have to do these procedure this and this way. Okay, so it has been written in the it has been written in the name itself, statute. So, okay, so everything which you are doing as an auditor has been defined by the law. What I am saying I will explain you, but it has been defined by the law that you have to do this thing and that thing. Okay, and the auditor which has been appointed as statutory auditor, he or she should be an independent auditor. Okay, so what is independent auditor? It means there should not be any conflict of interest in between you as an auditor and the company. Okay, there should not be any conflict of interest. But if I talk about the internal auditor can be anyone. Okay, if first of all if I talk about the statutory auditor, then there should be an compulsory, so there should be a compulsory requirement to appoint any auditor, any CA firm is in practice, so to as a statutory auditor. Okay, if you are having company, even you don't have 1 rupees turnover, then also you are required to be a you are required to appoint statutory auditor. But if I talk about this internal auditor, then there are specific requirements. Okay, so the company, if the company should be the listed company. If the company is not the listed company, then unlisted. If the company is unlisted company, then the turnover should be more than 500 crores. Okay, so there are many conditions. Okay, so that we will not go in that, but the point is statutory auditor is required to be appointed by every company irrespective of what is their turnover, what is their financial, doesn't matter. Okay, but if I talk about the internal auditor, then this compulsory requirement to have some specific amount of specific amount of figures in the financial statement. If it's crossing that figure, then only you are required to report, you are required to appoint the internal auditor. Okay, so but that's not the case with the statutory auditor. As I mentioned, the statutory audit would have to be done as per the statute. Means there is defined procedure that you have to do as a statutory audit. Okay, statutory auditor. But if I talk about the internal auditor, then internal audit is not liable if in any law. Okay, they have what they have to do. They have to just do all those procedure which has been mentioned by the management. Okay, it's an agreement in between the management and the internal auditor. But in statutory audit, there is a specific liability towards the external parties as well. There is specific liabilities for the shareholders. Okay, but in internal audit there is a specific agreement in between only management and the internal auditor, like these processes you have to do this time. Okay, so management says, okay, so I think you have to do purchase this time. Okay, I think inventory you have to do this time. Okay, so they are bound to report to the management only, they are bound to report to the TCWG only. Okay, but they are not responsible for middle level management or the shareholder. Okay, they are responsible for the management only. Okay, so management says you have to do these things, you have to do this thing this way. Okay, so they will do those things that way only. Okay, so now if I talk about the work, okay, so the work, how their work are different. So if I talk about the statutory auditor, then they gives the opinion on the financial statement. Okay, they gives the opinion on the financial statement, whether the financial statement has been prepared true and fair or not. I mean to say whether the financial statement has been prepared according to the GAAP. Okay, if the financial statement has been prepared according to the GAAP, whether it's showing true and fair view or not. Okay, so so the auditor has to form the opinion on the financial statement whether it's showing true and fair or not. Okay, so auditor has to judge, auditor has to independent evaluate, has to independent audit, and has to accordingly evaluate and form the opinion on the financial statement. Okay, so the auditor, so the statutory auditor will form the opinion on the financial figures. Okay, they will see whatever the financial figure is coming in the financial statement. They will see that figure, whether it's revenue, purchase, other expenses, balance sheet item, PPE, intangible assets, anything can be there. But the point is, whatever figure is coming there, it should not be materially misstated. Okay, what is materially misstated? It means it should, if the, let's say if the figure of revenue is coming 300 crore rupees and my materiality number is 5 crore. Okay, materiality means if whatever the so materiality number means any number which can influence the decision of the user. Okay, so if the error is more than of 5 crore rupees, then it will influence the economic decision of the user. So if the revenue figure is coming 300 crore rupees and if the revenue error is less than 5 crore rupees, okay, so it will not impact the economic user's decision. It means financial statement is showing true and fair view. Okay, so this will be checked by the statutory auditor. Okay, financial figures should be true and free. All the financial figures should be true and free. Okay, so total error in the financial statement should not be more than materiality number. Okay, but if I talk about the internal auditor, then they focus on the process. Whatever coming in the financial statement, it doesn't bother for them. Okay, they don't bother for whatever the amount is coming in the financial statement. Okay, whether it's 5,000 crore or 5,000 rupees, what matter for them, whether what is the process on from. So whatever the process the company is following, okay, that should be accurate, that should be correct. Okay, so there should not be any designing gap. Okay, there should not be any operating gap. Okay, so whatever the company is following control, whatever the company is having control, whatever the company is having process, that should be good. Okay, that should be effective, that should be efficient. So the internal auditor, if I conclude, then the internal auditor majorly focuses on the controls, on the processes. Okay, but if I talk about the statutory auditor, then they majorly focus on the financial figures. Okay, so they check whatever the figure is coming in the financial statement, that should be true and fair. Okay, but internal auditor they don't see whatever the figure is coming, they doesn't bother about like so what they bother about, whatever the process is there, whatever the controls are there, the control should be effective and accurate, effective and effective and efficient. Okay, so whether so for the internal auditor, the control can be financial as well as operational. Okay, so any control that impacts the business operation, that impact the business, that they bother about all those controls. Okay, but if I talk about the statutory auditor, they also bother about the controls, because if because the financial statement is preparing whenever when the control is there, only then the financial statement is being prepared now. So if there would not be any control, then how the financial statement would be accurate. Okay, so if the financial statement is showing accurate and the completeness is there, then there is obvious that the control should be there. So auditor will evaluate the financial control, whatever the financial controls are there. So statutory auditor will evaluate that as well. But their major focus is that to check that control, their major focus is that whatever the control are there, so those controls should be effective, so that the financial statement is being prepared accurate and complete. Okay, hopefully you are getting. So if I now conclude again, I am concluding. I have already concluded, but still I am again concluding. So the conclusion is statutory auditor majorly focus on the financial statement figures, and the internal auditor majorly focus on the control and processes. Okay, so control can be operational, financial, safeguarding of assets, or prevention of fraud. Every control cover in the scope of internal auditor. Okay, now if I talk about the salary differences, then the salary difference for the internal auditor, the salary is less, okay, in comparable to statutory auditor. That is the universal truth. But the point is, internal auditor takes less salary in comparable to statutory auditor. Okay, not much difference, but it would be a difference of in the initial phase, it would be a difference of 1 lakh or 1.5 lakh. Okay, but not more than that. But there is a difference. But the point is, internal auditor takes some few less amount of salary from statutory auditor. Okay. Now if we talk about the client opportunities, you have to first consider wherever you are going, whether you are going internal audit department or the statutory audit department, you have to ask yourself, or they ask from the company or the firm wherever you are joining, you should ask from them how many clients you have, how many clients I will handle. Okay, so if they are saying to you that you have to be on the one client only, okay, then you can, whether it's internal audit or statutory audit, I will not recommend you to go only for a specific one client, because you will not learn that much that you will learn on a multiple clients. Okay, so I will recommend to you, whether you are going for internal audit or statutory audit, okay, you should have to select that firm where the client where the multiple client you are going to handle. Okay, so that's the main thing that you have to consider, because wherever you will join, okay, so if the client would be multiple, then you will learn a lot on those clients. Okay, on multiple processes you will learn. Okay, multiple clients, about multiple businesses you will learn. So that you have to consider that wherever you are going, you have to think like you at least you are handling multiple client. Okay, at least you are handling in a year 3 or 4 client, at least that you have to think. But if you are just so the firm says that you have to go only on one client, you will be permanently on that client, and I will recommend to you, don't. Now if I talk about the client opportunity, then in statutory audit, as I said in the first part, like you have to follow some, so you have to follow some rules. Okay, you have to follow some laws, and that rule are specific to the Indian environment. Okay, so if I talk about the schedule 3, if I talk about the Ind AS, if I talk about any standards, that's according to the environment of the India. Okay, so if you will go outside India, then as a statutory auditor you will not be appointed, you will not be able to handle their laws, you will not be able to handle their accounting standards, so there would be a gap. Okay, but if I talk about the internal audit is same across the world. Okay, so the same process follows, everything is same across the world. So the point is, what I want to convey, in internal audit you can get an opportunity to work outside India as well. So if you want to go outside India, then I will recommend to you to join internal audit. Now if I talk about the networking, so network is net worth. So if I talk about the networking, then obviously you will get the networking opportunity in both the department, whether it's internal or statutory audit, because you will get to know about multiple clients, you will get to know multiple of your colleagues, so there would be a network opportunity in both the departments, so there would not be any difference in that. So these are the difference, I think, that majorly I have covered. Hopefully you got some insightful comparison. Having any doubt, you can just comment in the video itself. And so what do you think? So should I continue in English or should I go back to the Hindi? What's your take on that? So just let me know that thing as well. And if you want to join our course, Master Blaster of Statutory Audit and Master Blaster of Internal Audit, then you can join that as well. And in upcoming 1 or 2 week, we are coming with the Master Blaster of Statutory Audit in English too, so that you can watch. So but you just have to wait for 1 or 2 weeks. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like this video and click on the subscribe button. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you so much.